Hello again, this is Don Lange reporting to you for the Seasoned Citizens Present. And today I have much pride to be able to present Miss Iowa, Lisa Somodi.
Thank you for having me. It's
Well,
nice to be
how are
here
you,
again.
Lisa?
I remember doing this program as Miss Muscatine, and it's
was
nice
just
to be
gonna
back
comment.
as Miss Iowa.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. Yes, I wondered if you remember our little tete-a-tete we had with Miss Muscatine County, which was about a little over a year ago now, I believe. So, okay, let's catch up to your life, which has been a go. We, I think, went to Miss Iowa pageant in the area of August. Or June.
June.
Reading wrong. June 15th, I
Right.
believe, is the final situation where you were crowned Miss Iowa.
It was very exciting. It
I
was
bet
my
it was.
third attempt at Miss Iowa. And the first time I came in second runner-up, and the second time I came in first runner-up, and the third time I finally won. So
Isn't that tremendous?
I was very fortunate that the third time was a charm for me.
Well, you know how happy we all were, the whole group around Muscatine. We had a celebration of homecoming for you at the holiday, and I think that was a beautiful turnout. And I think you were well received that night, and everyone was so happy. And I can remember one thing that's impressed my mind ever since then. There was one of the judges came along, and obviously was called upon to make a little hello and what have you. And she said, well, let me tell you how proud you should be of your little gal. This gal shows in her presence the determination that she has to become Miss Iowa. And let me tell you, it shows. And that, I am sure, will show in the Miss America contest, which is coming up next. But that comes later. We played Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody #2.
Yes.
At our presentation at River City or something in Davenport.
Adler Theater in Davenport.
I haven't been there, but I know where it is.
The pageant's been held there for the last couple years. It used to be held at St. Ambrose, and they've moved it recently. I was very fortunate to be able to play on a grand piano this year at the Adler Theater, which was donated very generously. And I played Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody #2, which is a piece that's a little bit different than what I'm known for usually playing, because I usually...
It's so joyful, though.
It's a fun piece and very spirited, although I really prefer playing something that's more dramatic and more intense. So this was quite a change for me to play something really upbeat and uplifting.
Oh, it was. It just was. And unfortunately, because of a miscalculation, I guess you'd call it, you have to send in to Miss America what will be playing, what your request was to be playing. And I'm led to believe that Miss Utah had already asked for that particular thing, so
She had.
Lisa had to go back practicing a little bit. Although, again, you're back, I shouldn't say, because you're constantly practicing. I'm well aware of your schedule, that you're always exercising and practicing. Quite a lifestyle you have, young lady, but we have to admire you for it.
Well, I do put in a lot of time practicing, that's for certain, and I had to do that definitely before the Miss America pageant, because not only did I have to practice a new piece, but I had to find a piece that I felt comfortable with and then arrange it, because in a lot of instances, classical music, certain selections don't always clock in at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. No, you can't. But there's a time constraint, in your talent presentation of 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and so the pageant boards usually like you to come in around 2:30, just to be safe, so that you don't go over time, because you'd be disqualified. So it's very difficult when you're a classical pianist to find selections that you enjoy that can be cut down and arranged to that amount of time. So it was very stressful after I found out I had to change my talent piece.
Well, you had a very short time
and
to do it, too.
I had, yes, only a couple months to work on it. So my first couple months at Miss Iowa, I was glued to the piano bench, practicing very hard, because talent's my favorite part of the competition. I wanted to do very well.
High-end points, too. Which is
40%.
a point, too, which you have to look at, too, because you have to stress the points that are the higher area. So we went up 13 to 15, right?
Right. Well, actually, 2 to 15. Yeah.
So.
I did find Liszt wrote 19 Hungarian Rhapsodies, and I was able to find another one that I enjoyed even more than #2. So it worked out. It worked out really well.
See, it wasn't as joyful, shall we say, but in so doing, I think you brought again more of your talent out with that. Really, I mean, it was so more musical, I guess is the word you could use on that, let's kind of talk about your duties as Miss Iowa. Now, what are some of the things that you do as far as your... Now, we do know we lost you as a resident for the time being, since Davenport is the home of Miss Iowa. That, therefore, restricts you to having residency in the Davenport area rather than Muscatine. We're still Muscatine home.
Right. Well, there's an apartment complex in Davenport that gives me reduced rent there, so I have a very nice apartment in Davenport, and I'm enjoying living there very much. I have to do a lot of things as Miss Iowa. I can be contracted to do just about anything.
Surely.
I do a lot of school assemblies, you know, speaking to school kids. I can hand out flyers at a fair, or perform, or visit hospitals. I do a lot of media things also.
Surely.
I'm on the radio. I do a lot of half-an-hour talk shows such as this, and I'll be performing at the Quad City Thunder basketball game at halftime. Really? I'm going to be singing because they don't want to wheel out a piano in the middle of the floor.
That's a little strenuous.
Yeah, and
but she has a beautiful voice. Don't worry about that telling part. Believe me.
So I'm really have been kept very busy because not only do I perform my duties as Miss Iowa, but I also have a part-time job, and I'm very busy practicing and composing, getting ready for graduate school next year. So
you have a very full life.
I have a very full life.
Incidentally, bringing that up, you are open, I mean, in the sense of the pageantry, for appearances. So if people would like to contact your manager, we can offer a phone number, I believe, at this time, to show where they can call to make a request for an appearance. Now, obviously, it has to be set upon your, believe me, I know, personal appearances at the time schedule. But if they'd like to call, we'll see if we can get that number on the screen somewhere along the area here, and offer them to, it's a long-distance call to Davenport. It isn't that expensive. And if they're intent in finding out, they can call Jeff, and he will then, I hope, check the schedule and get everything straightened out so you can make the appearance. Because I know you're very happy to wherever, and time allowance, that you are so happy to get out and visit with people.
Well, I like being in this community. In fact, about a week ago, I was here for homecoming, and I enjoyed speaking to the high school students, and I had a wonderful homecoming of my own at the bank, and so I really enjoy it when I get a chance to come back to Muscatine and visit with everyone. Yeah, it's kind of relaxing, different change of pace than Davenport. And nice to see my family and friends here.
Well, we're always happy to have you back, believe me. Any way we can get you to return, we're happy to see you. So any other features you will have at the present time in the Miss Iowa? Incidentally, you will be Miss Iowa until that same date, June somewhere?
Well, around that time, yes, the middle of June. So I have a lengthy part of the year left, which is really nice.
Long time to go here, so.
It's nice. Most of the state pageants, I think all of them except maybe one or two, all the girls are crowned during the summer. So that then you only have a very short time to prepare for Miss America. But the 49 that get to come back, of course, have wonderful years ahead of them representing their states. And so I will be Miss Iowa until June. And
well, as I recall, I know you attended here as Miss Iowa. Obviously, they had to get a secondary Miss Muscatine because you couldn't perform twice. You were there as Miss Iowa. And I know you were also at other county pageants, I'm sure, around the state that had invited you to show, because they weren't all simultaneously. Most of them are spread enough. You might have been to Clinton and Burlington, I don't know, but I'm sure you did attend other other than just Muscatine. So.
Yes, well, one of my duties, too, is to perform at all the local pageants and to visit with the girls, because hopefully I can be a positive role model for them, and they can you know, grow in the pageant career and have something to aspire to, and so that you hope you can motivate them to stay in the program, and that's a very important part of being Miss Iowa, is visiting all the locals. It also gives you an opportunity for other parts of the state to see you, because often a lot of my appearances are located, you know, in this general area in the eastern part of Iowa, and there are quite a few local pageants up in the northern part that don't get to see Miss Iowa as often, so it's nice to go visit those areas also when I am allowed to participate in a local pageant up there.
Well, great. We talked briefly about that because I was kind of curious. We don't see as many participants in, excuse me, the Miss Iowa contest or pageant as we do the Eastern. Now, obviously, it isn't that, which makes it more convenient. But as you stated, they have to have some community support before they can do these things. It is an expense. I mean, you are well aware of that. That they have to have the local support before they can really get involved in the pageantry, so and a local contest, of course.
Well, pageant is all volunteer. It's all volunteer based. As far as a board coming together for a local pageant, all that time is donated, and funding has to be donated from the community. And we're just very lucky in Muscatine, you know, to have such large community support for our youth and for people who want to pursue their education and for scholarship opportunities in this area. So it's very important to have people dedicated to youth and volunteer their time.
Well, that's very interesting note. And like I say, you will be participating as Miss Iowa until that date coming up, and again the next year. You are actually Miss Iowa 91-92, technically,
right,
because you will serve into the 92 area. Okay, now we have Miss Iowa Concord. We've done that. Now, let's go to Miss America.
Oh, boy.
Wasn't that something? Huh?
It was
You are down
very
to earth
exciting.
now?
Yes, I am down to earth. It did take me quite a few weeks to recuperate after that experience because it was a lot more strenuous and a lot more tiring than I had ever imagined. And we were out in Atlantic City, actually in Philadelphia and Atlantic City for 2 weeks. The first couple of days we spent in Philadelphia, that was supposed to be like our vacation, and we did a lot of sightseeing and a lot of promotions for the pageant. We talked to a lot of, and we were introduced at a Phillies game, which was wonderful, and we got to see the Liberty Bell. We went to the Franklin Institute, did a lot of promotional pictures. Got to meet Miss America for the first time.
Oh, yes.
And so those couple of days were supposed to be relaxing, although we were just going nonstop. And then we took a train into Atlantic City and spent the rest of the time, another week and a half, in Atlantic City, basically locked in Convention Center in rehearsal, because it takes a lot of time to put on a live TV show.
Yes. Well, sure it does. I know that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we left here. I want to kind of get back to that. You left here for Atlantic City on August 31st. I think you left our local airport, being Quad City Airport, with an entourage there waving goodbye, I think.
Yes, it was nice.
And then arrived in Philadelphia, like I say, and I had notation that you'd spoke of the fact that you were being invited, the court, as you call it, in its full presence, was being invited to the Phillies game, which was something different, you know. This is the dress that you had the
Oh, yes, this is my Phillies.
Right.
Phillies
That's how it got Christian, right?
Actually, I thought their colors were red, and so I thought I was just going to be real cool walking in this Phillies game in a red suit, but really it's more of a maroon, so I wasn't quite as chic as I thought I was going to be. But some girls sported Phillies hats with sequins on it and really got into the game. We had a good time. They put us up in a box, you know, one of those glass boxes to watch a couple of innings of the game, and then we didn't get to see the whole game because they had to scoot us off to our next event, and we had a lovely dinner at a Japanese restaurant that evening, and so
sushi.
We well, the first couple courses I didn't eat much of, but the main course was wonderful.
Good.
It was just getting over kind of that sushi at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And I want to bring up too, before Lisa left for her appearance in Atlantic City, she had a fashion show, again at the Holiday, which I was fortunate enough to be invited. And we sat through that, and she displayed each and every dress that she would be wearing all throughout, other than I think the last one, which you have there. I don't believe you were, did you get to show that at your last
I showed
gown?
everything.
Okay.
I showed everything.
Okay, everything was shown there, plus the fact then we got to be introduced to her piano selection, which she had been rehearsing diligently on number 15.
Right.
So we got to hear that and found, hey, how can we lose? This is absolutely outstanding selection that she could have chosen. And, you know, not being an aficionado of music, that particular area, I think we all just thought it was tremendous, and I think you got a real pleasant send-off from Rick and the young lady from Davenport, WOC or KWQC, excuse me, was there.
Paula Sands.
Paula Sands was our MC that day, and you showed each and every dress that you'd be performing in out there, including our little Philly dress here.
That's something that I don't think the general public knows a lot about.
No.
And people should really kind of look on their calendars about 3 weeks before the Miss America pageant. Every Miss Iowa gives a send-off, and a lot of things go on in Atlantic City than just the pageant on Saturday night. And there are a lot of events, and so you need a lot of wardrobe, and it's nice to be able to show, you know, people things that they don't ever get to see.
That's right.
And so to kind of get a sneak preview,
it really is.
People should really come out to these send-offs.
Well, I sure appreciate it, having an invitation and everything. Of course, I've been a little involved in it, so I was so happy to be able to attend that. The wife and I, my mother-in-law, all attended and got to see all these dresses and everything. It was just, you know, the performance was tremendous. And now we get into, as you said, the horrendous trials you have now, in where they almost lock you into a hall where you are being shown the different things you'll be doing, practicing, and then each day I think they have different people, different girls in the court perform. And then your judges make a decision on swimsuit and talent. And then one time, I think yours was on a Tuesday.
Right. There are 3 nights of preliminary competition before the final night, Saturday night, and these are not televised.
Not the same judges either.
No, not the same judges. You have a different panel of judges, and actually the preliminary panel was wonderful. They had wonderful music-oriented people on the panel, and you do your interview with that panel. And then on Tuesday night I did swimsuit, and Wednesday I performed my talent, and I won a preliminary talent award for that. And
that brings a little bit of cash in.
Yeah, a little bit. Thursday I did evening gown, and then those scores are all tabulated to come up with the top 10. So we go through the show 3 times before Saturday night, and it really almost becomes routine. You could almost do it in your sleep, actually, the amount of times that you do. We do have a lot of rehearsals, and this year the show was really extended. They really went all out because the girls were involved in 4 production numbers, which you don't see as much. So we had an opening number, and we had a sports number where I was on the ground doing sit-ups. I don't know if that ever made TV. And we had a fashion number that showed the gowns of many designers, and then the finale. So when you're talking about teaching 50 girls 4 dance numbers, you know, it takes a lot of time and energy to orchestrate all that. And
you're all talented, but obviously, still, you still have to have a choreographer there that can work with this and get you to perform in the sense of dancing wasn't your forte. I mean, you sing well, and your piano is just superb, you know, dancing. Why not?
Well, actually, I was kind of fortunate because I have had about 8 or 9 years of ballet and tap and jazz.
We don't know.
But something kind of funny happened. There was Miss Washington who played the piano. She made the top 10. We were learning these intricate dance steps, and she just raised her hand and said to the choreographer, you know, I'm not meant to dance. And it was really cute. But the choreographer really worked with us on making things easy enough for us to catch on quickly. And a lot of the time, we were running through things for the cameramen and for, you know, the people that worked on the set and the props, because they have to know where to move the cameras and everything. And
quite a production. You can see that. I mean, it's very, I mean, I'm in a little bitty thing here, but I can still visualize just what is transpiring over there, what tremendous production that has to be to actually get set up for this grand production. I have a question that is pressing on my mind. Are you informed before the final production you are in the top 10?
No, you're not. You're not informed about that.
I assume not, because they call you from down, you know.
No, some girls can possibly find out if they wish to. there are kind of lists in Atlantic City that circulate that aren't official or anything, but different state boards kind of tabulating who they think's going to be in. But you're not told anything. It's a complete surprise.
I'm happy to hear that, because it would take away the element of surprise when you are announced, when you come down to be introduced as the top 10. Then you really can show exuberant feeling that, hey, look what I've done, you know, so which you did. Not until the next one, though. That's when you really shine, and we just went completely wild back here, plus all the, I think it was 50 plus that were with you in the auditorium there in Atlantic City of local support.
Right. I had a big delegation. It was wonderful. They all carried these signs here. Here, you should show this sign.
Here's what we had. We had at home. We were up jumping in our living room, showing
and
the
I
signs.
could see that too.
I know you did.
I could hear you.
You could feel that, I'm sure. But we're all waving, and of course, everyone from, and I guess a few other people were curious. Well, what is that? And I'm reading this that somewhere along the line that they had requested, can we have one too? And I guess they were supplied if they wanted. Mother and Dad were there, and sis and brother, and the whole Muscatine County Board attended. Plus, and I can't obviously go through the different people, but I know a lot of them that had attended. I guess some from Davenport too, you know, that I wouldn't be aware of, that were supporters of Miss Iowa and Lisa Somodi. So here we are, waving our flags all over so they'll know who we are.
And I could see them too from on stage, and not a lot of girls had that. Now he's going to put his button on. Yeah, we had buttons in Atlantic City for all the different contestants too.
There's the button. Well, you mean other than yourself?
Oh, sure, all the state.
I thought we were strictly.
No, but I was the only girl that had such wonderful signs. And Rick Crooks, who's the county auditor, made them for me and cut each one out by hand. So he put in a lot of time in it.
The full complement of the state of Iowa and the piano. Everything was just absolutely perfect. You know, it's quite a job. What was the other thing I was going to inquire about? Oh, the one thing that fascinated me too, one of the dresses that you were performing in at your pre-America Miss America contest, was the dress that you were going to wear representing Iowa in the parade previous to the Miss America contest around the boardwalk. Right. That sounded fascinating. Can you kind of describe that a bit for us?
Sure. There's a parade on the boardwalk on Friday night, and all the contestants are in it. And actually, the parade's about 2 or 3 hours long with a lot of floats, and it's really quite a big production. We drive along the boardwalk in convertibles, and the thing is to kind of wear something outlandish. You know, you don't have to be really conservative.
Sure.
And I wore a wonderful black velvet dress that had bright hot pink flowers on the shoulder that kind of cascaded down. The thing that I didn't realize about the boardwalk parade was that a lot of people want to see your shoes. They yell, show us your shoes, show us your shoes. It's kind of a tongue twister. And the reason is that they see all these girls with elaborate gowns. They want to see what type of shoes they have on. Some girls, of course, wear like, you know, high tops, or some girl one year even wore a flipper and kind of do crazy things. But that's our night to let off steam and really have fun, because we've been in competition for 3 days before that, and it's the night before the finals, and we can just let our hair down and have a good time.
Okay. Now we're down to the final 5. And obviously that's always a beautiful suspense for you and the public. Everyone is just sitting, you know. And here's Lisa Somodi. Lisa gets a huge smile, and of course we're all waving our flags as rapidly as can, even in our living rooms, and really proud of our little girl getting in the top 5, and I think she was too. Now comes these little extra situations that you have. You've already won the talent. They really don't say in context who made talent that night. I don't think that's important particularly. That's been predetermined as 2 talent winners. Now I don't know whether that has an influence on the final decision. I assume it would have. Okay, one other thing I want to throw in here, just to have it known, you boarded in a hotel there that was called the Bally. who also was in the ballet with you?
Well, for the first week, Evie Gregerson was my chaperone.
Okay.
And then for the second week, Lynette Johnston was my chaperone.
What other part of Miss America was there?
We had, well, Miss America was there.
That's what I thought just you two were there. I was kind of led to believe.
No, actually, there are 4 girls to every hotel. So Miss Alabama, Miss California, Miss Hawaii, and I were there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was wonderful. I really got to know Miss Hawaii quite well.
Well, that's what I was
because
thinking.
we were in the same hotel, and we had the same set of hostesses drive us back and forth to rehearsals. And then besides that, our dressing tables were right next to each other, and she always performed after me. So, I mean, we were together all week long. She's a very, very lovely young lady, and I'm sure she'll be wonderful, Miss America.
This is what I was bringing up. I knew that you had performed quite a camaraderie with Miss Hawaii, not having any particular knowledge of what was going to transpire, but that made it a little more personal in a sense, having had this camaraderie with Miss Hawaii and knowing her personally, as you did. And, okay, now we're in the final judgment on the 5 finalists. You're sitting on a stool with Regis and Kathy. He comes around again and asks each, and of course came your time, tell us again what your project is. I know about it because with Miss Muscatine County you hadn't quite got around yet to the formation of your foundation. You had a predecessor, I think. Now you're in the full fold. You want to tell us about it?
Well, it was wonderful to be able to speak about the Big Brother, Big Sister program, which is really near and dear to my heart. And the LIFT program has now become affiliated with the Big Brother, Big Sister program so that we can serve more of our youth in this community. And of course, like any volunteer program, we always need more funding and we always need more volunteers. And it was really wonderful to get the opportunity to speak to 55 million people about something that's so very important to me. And there was quite a response. There are more people in the community now volunteering to be Big Brothers and Big Sisters because of that. They got the message, but you know, you still can shout it out even more and reach more people. 1 in 24 kids that really desperately need a big brother or big sister, you know, only 1 in 24 have the opportunity to have one, and it's because of lack of volunteers. So it's very important for people who want to give a little to our youth to become involved in a program like that, because it's the only national program that fosters a one-to-one relationship, you know, between an adult volunteer and a youth. Very important program.
Well, there again, Lisa, as I say, the judges didn't see fit, like my card. If they want to see my card, you would have received the high points there of the 5 that gave their, you know, after what their project was and everything. Okay, let's go now. We're through with all this, right? We're back down to earth. I think I read something that you really didn't realize, just the foundation of this and what could transpire until you got back to Davenport and we're sitting in a restaurant and someone made a comment to you. Me?
Instant recognition. When I came home on Sunday, flew back, and my parents took me out to dinner at the Ground Round in Davenport. We were so exhausted and we were so hungry. And the hostess sat us down, and my waitress came over and she said, "You're Miss Iowa, aren't you?" I mean, this was the day after the pageant. I looked terrible. You know, I had shorts and a shirt on and ponytail in my hair and just kind of relaxing. And I said, "Yeah, but don't tell anyone because I'm kind of incognito right now."
Please,
but yeah, I'd like to eat. But it was really strange being instantly recognized.
Good
you
feeling.
kind of get, it is a good feeling, but you kind of get a feeling kind of for what really big movie stars kind of go through, that you just always, you know, have to be.
That hasn't bothered me yet, but but I can relate in the sense that must be terrible, you know, that can't do anything on your own. Okay, we're going to have to finish out the program here, but let me bring up real quick where we're going now. The New England Conservatory of Music in Boston.
Yes.
That's coming after we get through with all this hilarity of being Miss Iowa.
Yes.
And 5th runner-up.
In August.
3rd runner-up.
3rd runner-up.
Shame on me.
Yes. I will be going to Boston probably in July or August. School starts, excuse me, at the end of August.
Oh, you will start as, still during your tenure as?
Oh, no. This will be after the June where I give up my crown. So I'll fulfill all my duties as Miss Iowa and then go on to graduate school. And I'm looking forward to that. I hear Boston's a wonderful place with a lot of cultural diversity.
With you there, it'll be wonderful. Again, we do want to thank you for being with us today. Our time's running out, but we thank you so much for being with us. And let me assure you, Miss Lisa, you'll always be our Miss America right here.
Well,
Thanks for
you.
being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today. Goodbye.